while you're waiting, if you've got nothing else to do, you may notice my name on the chat is Liam Marmite. The reason for that is because we've decided we are going to change our surnames to our favorite quarantine snack. So my favorite quarantine snack is Marmite on toast. You either love it or you hate it. So Amanda is Amanda Chips and Dips. Shannon is Shannon Cheesy What's It. So if you want to, while you wait, just change your name to your favorite snack, and then we can have a bit of fun with that as well. Thanks, guys. Okay, well, let's get started then. Welcome again. If you weren't here when I welcomed everyone, welcome to the Alpha Youth webinar. We're thankful you're here. Just a couple of notes. If you could keep yourself on mute for most of the time, we're going to have a question time at the end. We're still letting people in from the waiting room. People are still joining and stuff. But if you could keep yourself on mute for now. If you do have any questions throughout the whole webinar, and we'd love if you just fire those questions into the chat. And just as well, if you weren't here when I mentioned, you may notice my name is Liam Marmite. That's because Marmite is the greatest snack on the planet. And we're changing our surname to our favorite quarantine snacks. What have you been eating a lot of during this time? And then just to recap as well, if you were or were not with us last week, we had a little look at why run Alpha Online, Alpha Youth Online, that is, why sort of reach young people in this way, and a little bit of how to start doing that as well, and thinking a little bit around why would we run Alpha and how would we get started. Today, Shannon is going to be taking our, her name is Shannon Cheesy What's It. She's going to be taking our webinar today, and she's going to be talking a lot about how to share the video, how to do things like breakout rooms, things like that. So before we get started, I would just love to pray for us. I see people are changing their names there as well. Beth, cereal and milk, Carrie, pancakes, Nutella, great stuff. I would love to pray for us as we get started, and then after I pray, Shannon is gonna take over. Is that okay? I'm going to do it anyway. So Father, we just thank you for this time, this opportunity to really just hear about just your good news, to be able to share your good news through Alpha. We thank you for the moment we're in and the scary and uncertain times, but the hope that we still have as children of you. We pray that you encourage each person in this time, and that you really speak to us and encourage us through this webinar. In Jesus' name, amen.
So yeah, I will be hosting you guys. My name is Shannon. I work for Alpha. And so I, yes, have cheesy What's-Its. I think they're the ideal snack. They're easy. They're easy. What can you do? Okay, so we wanted to do this week's webinar on kind of the practicalities of how to use Zoom and how to use Zoom to run Alpha. We know that there's like a lot of resources, a lot of things out there, and telling us what we should be running, but we kind of wanted to give you guys a run through of actually how does that practically look, and what do the functions in Zoom do that help us to run Alpha the best that we can. And in true Alpha style, we want to start with a game. And so I will explain the game the best that I can, and then we will play it. So I'm actually going to need everyone to unmute themselves for this game. And the way, yes, please. So the way we're going to do this is I don't really have a name for it. I'm just going to call it count. Count up. Okay. So the idea of the game is we're all going to count to 20 as a team, but we're not going to have a sequence, or we're not going to know who's saying what number when. You just have to say the number when it comes to you and when you feel it.
One.
But as a team, we have to get to 20. So no two people can say a number at the same time. If you do, we have to start again from like 0. And the same person can't say like the same number twice. So if I said 2, I can't say 3, then someone else has to say it. Does everyone understand the game? The best way this game is going to work is if everyone tries to do it. So please don't be shy. Just say a number when you feel it. And I would like everyone to have had a go to say a number at the end. Is that okay? So here we go. Anyone can start. Go.
1,
3,
4,
5,
Oh, we had 2 4s there. We'll start again. Here we go.
1,
2,
3,
4,
4, 6,
4 again. Here we go. Start
yeah.
again.
1, 2,
8,
8.
20.
20. Right, maybe we'll try 10. We'll try to get to 10. If we can do 10, we'll be good. Okay.
1,
2,
4,
5,
6,
7.
oh,
no.
Right, one last time, and if we can't get it, we're all just failures, unfortunately. Here we go.
1,
Right, okay.
Oh, that was beautiful. Okay, we'll go one more time because that was just, we got to 1. That's a bit shameful. Here we go.
1, 2,
2.
6,
7,
This is 2 tries.
5.
Are we supposed to be going in order?
It's not bingo, lads.
Anyways, we tried the game. It's a bit of a fail, but I hope everyone had a little bit of fun just trying to get to 10. And so that's an example of a game you could play with your youth. And then there's a lot more games on our website. And again, if you guys have any games that you've been playing that have been good, let us know, because we'd love to share them with other people. So yeah, that was wonderful. Thank you guys for joining in, and we shall go to the next slide there. So just last week, if you joined, we were kind of doing the kind of starting point, I suppose. So 3 simple steps are to schedule your alpha, to invite your guests, and then to host. And so if you want to catch last week's webinar, you can get it on our website, I do believe. And so just when you're hosting as well, make sure your team know what their roles are. Like today I'm hosting the webinar. Liam was kind of doing the hospitality, welcome you when you came in, letting you know to change your name and do little things like that. And Amanda is working on the tech in the background. So they were just some little tips on how to get your alpha started. Go next there. So yeah, a big part of if you go back, a big part of why we want, or why we at Alpha believe that we should be doing this online, and why we are even doing these webinars and reaching out to people, is just because we think that, like, just because we can't be with people doesn't mean that it's not a time to connect in with young people and still have community. And we really believe that Zoom creates a good space, and Alpha creates a good space to let people just be with each other, even though we can't actually physically be with each other at the moment. It helps us to young people to grow in their faith. Like, Alpha has some great content and truths in their videos, and it's ready to go and it's easy to use. And so when you're using Alpha, you can create this space easily for young people to really ask their questions. I mean, it's a really difficult time for some people at the moment, for probably a lot of people, just with carrying a lot of questions or hurt, or just not knowing how to engage with God or what God is doing in this time. So it's just really creating a space where young people can ask those questions, and we think it's really, really important, and that's why we're taking the time to even do this, to help you practically use these tools. So I hope that's a little bit helpful as to the background of why we're doing this. So we go next, please. So yeah, if you want to watch the video from last week, we were looking at how do you prepare your alpha, how to begin, and if you go online, you can get your training videos and everything there, and it's really easy to get started like as soon as you possibly need to. And so yeah, do check that out actually. And go next, sorry. So Zoom has kind of become our new reality. I don't know about you guys, but as soon as this hit, it was like 10 million Zoom calls a day. And so it just really is a new reality for us, and not just in our work, but also in how we engage with even friends and family. I don't know if anyone's been doing like quiz games with their family or friends on Zoom, but it really is just kind of like our lives have come onto this now a lot since COVID-19 kind of broke out. So the two big parts of alpha, if you don't really know alpha, two big parts are the talk or the video. And so Zoom really helps us to do the video via sharing the screen, and I'll show you how to practically do that. But it's again, like I said, it's really good content, good quality videos. And so sharing these is going to be a good way to do the video together. And it's really easy. And then another big part of what we do are the small groups on the discussion. And they're just a really good place for young people to ask their questions, go deeper. And so we have found that you can do this on Zoom via the breakout rooms. And that just really enables us to make the bigger groups smaller, so that it allows for more sharing and vulnerability. And what people have been finding just from speaking to people and being on other Zoom calls is either your people are going to retreat and they're going to feel too exposed. And so that is going to be a challenge that we'll have to think through as youth workers. And then on the other end, people have been finding that actually this space online is where their young people feel the most comfortable. And so you might find that people are being really vulnerable. So, but the breakout rooms are a good space to just create a safer space with a smaller group to do that. So if we can go to the next slide, please. So yeah, so sharing the video, you're going to be able to download all of the Alpha Youth videos on our website at My Alpha. And then, so we'll encourage you to share your screen and share your sound and watch it live with the young people if you can. Another way you could do this possibly is to get everyone to download it off our My Alpha and watch it separately and come together. But I'll talk through that now in a second. So yeah, sharing the video is going to be the best way to do this. And that's. So I don't know if you guys have hosted a video or shared your screen, but I just put together a quick video. So please excuse my voice because it is just me on a video. So I do apologize, but it will hopefully show you how to share your screen if you haven't practically done that. So this is just practical video. So have a look here. So when you're on your Zoom homepage, you can see the share screen option. When you click on this, it'll say that you can share your computer sound. So you want to make sure that is ticked blue. And then we will start a new meeting here. So when everything pops up on the bottom, you will see that there is an option to share your screen. And when you click on that little arrow on the side, it should give you different options and more kind of advanced things that you can look through and see what you do want to share. For the purpose of this, I want to share my screen and my sound. So then we are going to share screen. Well, this will pop up and it will give you all the options of the things that are open on your laptop. But I just want to share the alpha video, which I already have open. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to share the screen. When I do that, just that screen will come up, nothing else. You won't see anything else, you'll see that. And I can play it and the sound will come through because I've shared my computer sound. So this will be shared with everyone, and everyone will be able to see and hear it at the same time. And if you have it downloaded or have it on your laptop, it should be pretty smooth. So we're going to go ahead to the pause section of our Alpha Youth videos. So at that point, you can actually pause it. It'll pause for everyone, and then you can stop sharing screen. And at this point, you can go into your breakout rooms if you want, or you can have your discussion in this section. And then when people come back in, you can share your screen again. Okay, so I hope that was easy to follow along with. If anyone wants any videos like that afterwards, just you can contact me and I'll send them on, just so you can follow along. But that is a really easy thing to do, but we just wanted to show you, because I can't show you live now, but I want to do the video. So yeah, in the discussion times, then you want to keep good ratios. So when you actually, so once you finish sharing your video and watching it together, you can either run through the whole video and stop at the end and then go into breakouts, or you can stop it as the video tells you to pause and go into breakout rooms and come back and resume. Whichever way you guys feel is best for your group, do it that way. We're not going to like dictate that, but yeah, so it should be easy. And then, so yeah, then you want to go into your discussion room. So you want to keep good ratios. So just, you'll need to figure out what number works best for you. We've kind of found like 5 seems to be a good number, just for like vulnerability factor, so people feel safe. So, and then there's not too many people trying to talk while they're on this Zoom call. And yeah, it's just a good number. So maybe 5 to a leader. But you can figure that out with your group. You know your numbers, you know how many leaders you have, so you're going to be able to figure that out best. And then also just try and keep your groups like you would normally, as consistent as you can with the same people, same leaders, so you're building that trust, because we just find in like young people just need to have that consistency to share with, like even with their peers, to keep them consistent, so they're not feeling like they're having to start again with kind of breaking down to be honest or things like that. So yeah, just one sec. And then also with the videos, you just to backtrack, so I didn't cover this, but to optimize the use of your videos, you're going to want to download them so you're not streaming them online. If you're like streaming your videos at the same time that you're doing a Zoom call, your Wi-Fi is going to be like struggling. So just make sure you download them first and sharing from your laptop rather than the Wi-Fi, if that's good. So if you go next there. So the way that we said we were doing the breakout rooms was to, to do discussion is through the breakout rooms. So there's different ways you can kind of utilize the breakout rooms. The first week you might want to do like an automatic, or you can do a manual kind of assigning, and that'll be explained in the next video as well. But or you can pre-assign the rooms, and that's going to help you to keep the consistency of your group. So when you are starting your call, you can pre-assign the rooms, and then you'll know who everyone is in what room, how many rooms there are, and that can work the best if you know who's going to be on the call. So yeah. So I'm actually talk live on this video, but so when you actually come into your Zoom account and you start a call. I don't know if this is the same for everyone, but for me, oh, don't start the video yet. For me, there was no breakout room function on the bottom of the screen, and so you actually have to activate it in the background on your account system. So this little video, it's less than a minute, it'll just show you how to actually activate the breakout room section. So I'll just do a quick run through. Try and keep up with the video. So on your Zoom homepage here, you'll see that you can go to your settings on the side, and what you're going to do is click that, and you're going to go to the profile section on the left, and then you'll have 3 options, and one of them is to view advanced features. So you can click into that, and a web page will open in the background. You can see here, and it'll be open on settings, and then in this meeting section here, you're going to click onto in meeting advanced, and it's going to automatically scroll, and then you'll see there's a breakout room function there, and you're going to turn that on. You're going to activate it, and then make sure that that section is clicked blue if you want to pre-assign the rooms, and that's really just how you activate the breakout rooms, so that when you open or start a new meeting, and then at the bottom you'll see them pop up now in a second, and then you can see the breakout rooms are there. So if you don't have that feature already, you're going to be able to just activate it in the background, and then it'll be on the bottom bar. So I do actually hope that is helpful, because yeah, you might not have breakout rooms and want to use them for this purpose. So if you want to go next. So yeah, when you're doing the breakout rooms, you want to select the breakout rooms function, and then there is another video, I'm so sorry. It was just easier to show everyone on the videos, but that you're going to be able to select the number of rooms that you actually want. So depending on how many people you have, if you have 10 people, you might want 2 rooms. If you have 40 people, you might want, like 5 rooms, whatever it is. So you're going to assign the guests to the rooms, and the hosts as well. So when you're picking, again, you want to keep consistent, and so a way to do that is after the first week, if you haven't already assigned them, find out who was in each host's group, and then keep those the same each week, just for that continuity, to build that trust, and then adjust the settings if you need to. Next one. So this is the last video, I promise, it's the last one. And so it's just, how do I actually use the breakout room function? And the next one is a little video, don't play yet, but there was only 3 of us on the call, but it will just give you an idea of what that kind of actually looks like when you click into breakout rooms, and just what to expect, like, of what's going to pop up, what it's going to ask you, and how you can use it. So we'll go ahead and watch that real quick. So this is just to show you guys how to easily do a breakout room. So you want to click on your breakout room button at the bottom, and then select the amount of rooms that you would like. We're going to choose 2 because there's only 3 people on the call. And then select if you want to automatically or manually assign, and then you can start assigning people to different rooms, and this is great to put hosts in rooms, etc. And then I'm going to open the rooms, and you will see Liam and Amanda start to kind of disappear from the screen, and they will be going into those breakout rooms. So once they're in their breakout rooms, I can broadcast a message to everyone, and every breakout room will see that. So if it's just letting them know the time left, different things like that, or reminding them of questions that they have to answer. And then that can be broadcast, and then you can close the rooms, and that will give them a minute countdown, and then they'll pop back in to the main meeting. So you'll see Liam pop back in. This may take a while, but just encourage people not to press anything, because they will automatically return to the main Zoom meeting. And then we have Amanda. So again, really simple, but just wanted to show you how to practically use that setting, so that you're not just left in the dark with what actually you have to do. And so just one thing as well I left out around just for the breakout rooms, like you would in a normal youth group setting or working with young people, you want to have like expectations around, like, to keep that environment safe, expectations around their behavior or how they're going to interact on these Zoom calls. So you can just let them know, and if you want to brainstorm them together, but just to let them know, you know, let's respect each other. We're not going to talk over each other, and like those kinds of things, whatever you want to put in place, just to make it as safe as you possibly can. And that's just going to make sure that everyone knows what the standard is. And then there's also, you can turn off the chat function if you don't want people to be privately messaging each other. But they're the videos. That's kind of the practicalities of how we have been using Alpha and how we would like people to use Alpha to do, or use Zoom to do Alpha, just with all the different aspects that we have, and to keep it as communal and as safe as we possibly can. And part of doing this, we just wanted to let you guys experience a breakout room. So we do have a question. The breakout room question is, how has moving your work and social life to online been for you? And what have you tried? And basically what we'll do is we'll send everyone out into breakout rooms. Myself, Amanda, myself, Amanda, and Liam will be the hosts, and you'll see that we were able to assign that. And then we'll give a few minutes, and then we'll pull everyone back in. So just don't, originally you might get something pop up, say join your breakout room, that's fine. But when you're coming back, don't touch anything, because you should just be naturally transported back to this main session, if that's okay. So I'm actually not going to do it. John is going to do it. Yeah. So see you in 5, everyone, if you join your breakout room. I'm like chatting away and I'm muted. Welcome back to the main session. God, you could teleport back to us. I hope everyone found that okay, and we will have a time now in a second to do questions, but we just had some top tips to share with you guys when you're using Zoom to run an Alpha. One that I know Amanda just loves and she's been using is her speedtest.net, and I think Liam's going to pop that in the chat, but it's just a place where you can check the speed of your internet. So you can see, it's just going to help you see how fast your internet is. You want it to be at its optimal when you're hosting something, especially, just so you want to make sure that everything's running as smoothly as you can. And just things like not having other like pages open in the background of your laptop when you're running the video, and different things like that are just going to make sure that the video is the best quality it can be. And again, like not watching it while you're online, but actually downloading the video is going to be really helpful for that as well. And the other one is short and sweet. So it's really taxing to be online, for especially if people's most of their day is with work is online or their school is online. So we suggest that you keep a time and stick to it. So if it's an hour, keep it to an hour. Make sure people have the freedom to leave when that hour is done, that they're not hanging around or feel like they're on the call for ages. Email more. So just make sure you're letting people know when your Alpha is checking in, just sending on the Zoom invite, and like just, hey, reminder, we're meeting on Thursday at 4 o'clock or whatever it is. And just be prepared. So like have your team ready. Like I said, you can get all the training videos on our website, and you can train together really easily, and just go through those videos and just know what your roles are, know who's hosting, know who's leading like small groups, and who's running the video and different things like that, just to be the most prepared that you can be, to make it as smooth as you possibly can. And then also just be aware, like I said earlier, like young people are just, this is a hard time for everyone, but young people are really going to have these questions that they're wrestling with. So you may be surprised with how much they are going to be vulnerable and how much they are going to share. So just make sure that you and your team are aware of that, that they're ready to deal with those kinds of things, and know how to navigate that well. And they're just some of our tips on how to run your alpha. And there's our website that you can go to, that's going to have lots of videos of how to run stuff online. We have some e-safety policies on there that we've put together. You're going to be able to access quite a lot on there, videos from last week, this webinar, and get to our alpha videos as well, and training videos. And so now we will open up the floor to you guys, because I've been talking way too much. So if you guys have any questions, or you've been popping them in the chat, we are happy to have a look and answer them now.
But add a tip to your running it there.
Yeah.
Something I found very effective is for the person controlling the technology to dial in from a separate device as well, so that they're hearing, particularly if you're sending video or music, so that you're hearing that it is coming out. You know, so when I'm controlling it, I'll have a phone. I'll come in on the call with my phone as well, so that I can hear what's going on the phone, so that I know that the people at the far end are hearing or seeing or hearing what I'm trying to share from my machine.
Oh, that's a really good idea, actually, because most of the time it's just been like, can everyone hear that? Thumbs up. But that's a good idea. I like that, yeah.
Yeah, Shannon, just one of the other things I just wanted to pop in about, if that's okay. We just, when you were kind of sharing in the video with sharing, when you are sharing the video and sharing screen, it can be really helpful if you are doing and sharing video, especially that there's a little bit at the bottom there that you can choose, obviously to share computer sounds, but also on the other side there's optimize video for screen sharing, and it can be helpful to just click that button as well. So both at the very bottom of the dialog box that comes up when you select to share a screen, just that kind of allows those videos to really be optimized properly for streaming, to try and make it as smooth an experience for other people as possible. That's just another one of the tips that we found for moving forward.
Just saw a question come in there. So if someone is vulnerable or anxious, what is the best way to respond? And that's a really good question. I think a few people have found this. So, I mean, I know Amanda and Liam are here to help answer that as well. So let me see. I wonder. Oh yeah, sorry, that's the next question. So Amanda, do you have, because you were kind of talking about this. Oh, she's muted. Hold on.
Yeah, I have to stop sharing in order to get my volume. Sorry. So when you're facing some young people that are online and they're feeling quite vulnerable on the call, which people are finding that somewhat, both adults and young people, that when they join a call, they might be a little more nervous than if they were in person. And they feel self-conscious because it's kind of fully them on this screen or this video. And on Alpha Youth, we want to try to encourage everybody to share their screen so that we can feel like we are together and we are a community. I really feel like the games and the food and the having the fun is a big part of helping people relax into the space a bit. Don't just make it so formal or just, I think sometimes when we focus on all the God stuff is super important, the discussion, the talk, but the food and the games is equally as important. And I think that's what is going to help with helping young people to not feel so vulnerable before they join the call. If you think you have, either after a call, if someone's been vulnerable in the call, or if you know of somebody that might be quite shy, maybe give them a call beforehand with the parents' permission and talk them through what the call is going to feel like and help them. Go ahead and don't just leave it to chance, but go ahead and just try to help them with that by chatting with them in advance. So there's a few things to do if you're actually on the call and it was a surprise to you and someone's feeling quite vulnerable. Absolutely have a leader send them a message. If you leave the private chat on, send a private chat. You can turn it off and on while you're on the call. So you could turn it on, have a leader check on them and say, hey, are you okay? Do you need to kind of duck out? You can, absolutely. So there's a few options there, but I would definitely keep the private chat off for the most of the time, just so that no cyberbullying takes place and you're not aware of it. You can see the chat.
Is that helpful, Jane? Oh, sorry, just because you had your hand raised. Okay, cool. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say as well, I suppose there's a wider question as well around like, yeah, like a lot of young people, I suppose the big group, like I'm looking at my screen now and there's, you know, there's 18 or 19 people on there, you know, and it can feel like that sense of walking into a room, you know, for a young person, just into a physical room can be a really anxious thing. And for any of us, as young people, it can still, or yeah, any age can still cause a lot of anxiety when you walk into a room full of people. And so it's still the same kind of thing with Zoom, but maybe even heightened even more, because they're going to feel vulnerable maybe being on camera. And so I suppose there's this bigger question for us at Alpha as well, and many other organizations. Are young people actually, do they feel comfortable doing this stuff? And I suppose I would love to hear some people's opinions. This is probably not the platform to do it at the moment because of time and stuff. But, you know, if you did have any thoughts on that, maybe to email Shannon or myself or Amanda. I'll stick Amanda's email into the chat, and maybe even just if you have any thoughts or suggestions or even experiences around that or ideas, then to yeah, there you go. It's in there now, the email. To let us know and let us know what you think, because we'd love to hear from you on that stuff.
Yeah. No, I hope that's helpful for people.
Yes, yes. So how many people can share their can you hear me? How many people can share a screen, like assuming you have up to 20 or 30 people? Like what's the maximum of number that can share, like comfortable? I don't mean comfortable, like space-wise. Like that you have tried.
You mean physically share their screen, or you can see everyone on the screen?
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, about that. So the screen sharing option, generally it's only one that can share at any given time. So only one person can share, and you can choose beforehand, especially if you're working with young people, that it's only whoever is hosting the video who can share their video or who can share their screen. Obviously that means then that nobody else will be able to do so, so you wouldn't kind of get an unexpected surprise. So it can be helpful sometimes to just do that if you feel that it's safer to not have somebody sharing the screen. You can choose that it's only the person who is hosting it who can share their screen, but only one screen can be shared at any given moment.
And just to mention, is there, Felicia, I wasn't sure if you also meant like with the view, you can change your view in the top right hand corner. There's a gallery view or a speaker view, and you can change how you see. You can see everybody if you click the gallery view, and you click the speaker view, and you just see just the speaker and then a line of people at the top that you have to scroll through, or the side, whichever way it shows up. So I wasn't sure if you were also looking at that.
Both ways. I was looking for all of them.
Oh, okay. And then with the e-safety Shannon mentioned earlier, just as just to flag it again with anybody working with vulnerable adults or young people, vulnerable children, so that's anyone under 18, you want to make sure and have permission. So like we're recording this call right now, and we've let you know that, and that we're putting it up on our website, but you can't do that with young people. So don't record those calls. And get permission from their parents. Actually get a physical permission slip from them, giving you permission to do these calls with them, because you want to make sure that they are safe and you are safe, and that their parents are aware that you are connecting with them in this way and with this platform. So that's super important, is permission. And we have a whole e-safety document on our website that you can take and change to fit your needs if you want. If you email me, I can send it to you as an open source document where you can literally take out wherever it says Alpha Ireland and put in your own organization. If you need to just use that, everyone is welcome to do that. It's totally free to use. And shortly I'll have a mock of a permission slip. If you already have one, you can just throw it with it when you give it up to people, give it to parents. I just wanted to highlight that.
Thank you.
That kind of answers a bit of Mary Ann's question. And just to add to hers, she said, I wonder about teens possible recording things on their phones which should not be recorded. That is a good question. For me, I would say like outline from the beginning that that's not something that's expected, like that you won't kind of tolerate people recording things privately, because you do want to make it as safe as possible. And so if people feel like things they're saying are going to be recorded and shown to someone else and they're being vulnerable, like that's not what we want, and that's not the space we want to create. So I mean, there's not really a whole lot you can do in terms of being there with the young person and making sure they're not recording, but I would just say make that very clear from the beginning that that's very serious and it's something that will be taken seriously, because I mean, it's not acceptable and it won't be tolerated. Like, that's all I could really say about that. Is there any, do you want to add into that, anyone?
I suppose it's just the same. It's the same as well in the physical world. Like, I suppose this being the virtual world, you know, then the physical world as well. Like, we've all heard the stories in schools and stuff of people recording things, you know, and I think Shannon said it quite well there, is that, you know, just the outline, it will not be tolerated. But from behind a screen, if they do that stuff, there's not much we can do other than just outline what the consequences are. If you have contact, this is why it's so important for contact with parents, because like, if you have contact with parents, then you can easily say to them, look, your son or daughter has done this. Unfortunately, you know, these are the consequences. They can't be part of the next session, etc., and part of your own policy of your church or organization for that. So
it's worth adding there as well, that this is one of the reasons why it's important for us leading Zoom meetings that we know exactly how to operate the software. And you can quickly find the command to say, for example, remove someone from the meeting. So if something happens and you need to remove someone from the meeting ASAP, you're not like scrolling all around your screen looking for how to do this. You need to know this in advance. So get to know Zoom, try it out with someone you know, get together and just do like trial sessions of, you know, clicking everywhere and seeing what everything does and how it works.
And just to say, oh, sorry, Shannon. Just to say on Marianne's, the other part of her question there, she asked if there's examples of online guides or suggestions. There is a PDF, Marianne, on our Alpha online section of our website, which we had up as a slide there, and I think Liam put in the chat as well. But if you go to our website, there is a whole section of how to do Alpha Online. On the homepage, it says how your church can thrive. If you want to click on that, it will just take you straight to there's also an online button, and everything we're talking about is there. There's actually a section for resources on Zoom games. If you want to do these games on Zoom, like what Shannon's been doing here today with us. So there's also a section for this.
I think Amanda's frozen. She's frozen. She optimized her Wi-Fi. No, I'm just kidding.
One of us can run out of battery or something.
Yeah, it could be.
But yeah, everything that she's talking about is on the website, so you can access all of that easily there. You'll just see that a poll popped up there if you want to answer that. Just with where's the best place to get the Alpha Youth Series videos. So if you go to our website, there is a function called My Alpha. It has changed recently, but it's called My Alpha. And if you created an account there, what you can do is you have access to the training videos, you have access to the adult videos, the youth videos, you have access to everything there. And even like they have question guides and different things, everything can be accessed there. And what you can do is download those videos directly to your laptop, so that you can play from your laptop. And so that's where you'll get them. Liam's popped it in the chat there, so they're really easy to access actually. And if you do have any trouble, just like we said, just contact us because we're happy to help with that. And
yeah, there's,
just
just on that, there's one of the other things, apologies, there on the video there, there's a video on our website on the Alpha Online bit about using Zoom and about how to use My Alpha as well. So if you have any questions or anything like that, there's plenty of there, but we're always happy to chat to people. So don't be kind of feeling around in the dark. We're always happy to have a conversation with you and walk through things. So the My Alpha thing, there's all the training videos and stuff that are in there too, but the videos are there. If anybody needs anything, but we are also free to chat at any point. Sorry about that.
Thanks, Toast and Jam. But yeah, I love what Claudio said actually about getting on with your team and just trying and testing things. Like, it's trial and error a lot of the time, and we as a team have been doing that. Just like before this call we're testing, okay, what do the breakout rooms do, how, like, you know, we're testing all of that before. So like, don't be afraid to try that. If you get it wrong on a call with just the team, no big deal. It's not really a big deal if you get it wrong with the youth either, but you just want to try and have it as smooth as you can. But so yeah, feel free to try that and try different things. That's actually a really good idea. Does anyone else have any more questions before we finish up? Yeah, Carrie.
Okay, so I've never done an alpha course before, right? So before I'd ever think of running one, is there any way of being part of an alpha course that I wouldn't have to run? Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, we would actually encourage you to do stuff like that. It's a really good idea to get a sense of what an alpha looks like, how it runs, all the kind of elements of it. Obviously, moving to online has been different. Usually what we'd say is go to our map on our website. You can find where things are being run. John might speak into this better than me actually about where you can go to find that.
Yeah, one of the things that we're hoping to try and do, obviously, this is, you know, these webinars are an opportunity for people to speak to us and for us to kind of chat to people about it. The reality is that we probably will be trying to get something up and running in the next couple of weeks to do that. So you can, if you check our website as we go forward, as the online alphas start, you're more than welcome to kind of join in one of them. And I think it might be an idea to try and bring in some of the people who've been looking at the online thing, because as you say, it's a twofer in a way. You're kind of trying to get a handle on the technology, and you're also trying to get a handle on alpha, for example, as well. So it can be helpful to do that. As you said, hopefully in the next week or two, we should have some alphas that are online and up and running at that point. So you'd be more than welcome to join in one of those and just kind of get a sense of what that looks like. Or another thing that you could do is maybe to try and find someone in your area who has run alpha before, and if you're more on the tech side of things and they're perhaps have experience of alpha, you might be able to kind of join forces and work together on that. But we're also happy to meet and chat with people to kind of talk through any of the issues that you might have too.
So we might just call it there because we like to finish on time at Alpha and we have a few minutes left. So if you do have any more questions, you can pop them in the chat now. We'll have a look at them, or you can email myself, Amanda, Liam, or any of the team. And if you want the videos from this to follow along to, you can pop me an email as well. So what I'll do is I'll finish off with a prayer, and then we will let you leave with a game as you leave. Okay, so I'll just pray real quick. So yeah, God, we just thank you for this time. We thank you for being able to share ideas and ask questions and just go through these things, and the opportunity we have with Zoom to still connect with people, to still have a sense of community, to still ask questions, to still connect with our young people, God, and we really do thank you for that we're able to do that, and for the gift of Zoom, I suppose, Lord. And I just pray for each person on this call, Lord, that you would just give them a heart to reach their young people, that you will give them the confidence to be able to do it, God, and that they would just be able to do it with a sense of ease. And just bless everyone on their journey as they're connecting with their young people, and just that there would be still a sense of trust and vulnerability in the small groups, God, because I really feel that's where you can really come into the hurts or the struggles or the joys of young people. So we do pray that we can still provide that space, and we know that you will still meet those young people regardless of that anyways, God, and thank you for that. So we do just pray this all in Jesus' name. Amen. So our game to let you go: you will leave if you lose and you will stay if you win. We'll do heads or tails. So you may have played this before. I'm going to flip a coin. If I want you to signal if you're heads by touching your head, and we decided that tails would be touching your chin because we can only see your faces. So I will flip a coin. I need everyone to choose if they're heads or tails when I flip a coin. If it's heads, if you win, then you stay in. If you lose, we'd like you to leave the meeting. So I will just say thank you so much for joining us. We will hopefully see you next week, just in case you have to leave if you lose this game. Okay, so yeah, thanks guys. Here we go. So everyone choose your poison. Is it heads or is it tails? Okay, here we go. Hopefully I don't drop this. It's tails. So if you're heads, please leave the game. Bye, guys. Lost a few, didn't we? Oh, we still actually have quite a few in. Oh, so if you're still in, please pick if you're heads or your tails. Got a few heads, few tails. Here we go. Oh, that was a nice spin, I have to say. Oh, it's tails again, I swear. Your tails saying bye, guys, to your heads. See you again. Will we have a winner? Your heads or your tails? Sorry, I didn't say that. Please choose now. And heads, you win. Is anyone tails? Tanya's still there. Okay, here we go. Choose again. Heads, heads. It's heads. Gosh, these people are just staying in. Here we go. Heads or tails? It is tails. Okay, we have three people left. So it's between, oh, Deirdre's gone. So Nigel and Paul, it's between the two. So you have to choose two opposite ones. So heads or tails, please. Okay, one, yeah, okay, here we go. Who's our winner? It's tails. Well done, Paul. Sorry, Nigel. Thank you so much for joining. And congratulations
for the prize.
Pardon?
Robbed, Nigel. You were robbed. Way to go.
Yeah. Well done, guys. Thanks for joining. See you again. Bye.
Thanks.